We are standing with people who are seeking their freedom.
It is an important transformation that requires all of us to contribute to it, to discuss it, and no one should be jailed.
Karen Attiah is the global opinions editor at the Washington Post.
I do feel a drive to tell these stories, to make sure that the world doesn't forget about what's happening to people having to deal with conflict or fleeing from conflict.
One of my favorite memories of Jamal is January 2011. The Arab Spring is beginning to ignite, and he was just electric. It was a moment that, in a sense, he'd been waiting for by saying simply 4 words: "We Saudis deserve better."
He decided that the increasing repression was too much.
Why are you in quote-unquote self-exile? Explain that to our viewers.
Simply because I don't want to be arrested.
Found his email through a mutual friend and reached out to him to see if he wanted to write about the crackdowns in Saudi Arabia. His op-ed was basically talking about how he fled, and it just sent shockwaves.
I left because whatever narrow space I had was getting narrower. I began to feel the pressure, so I just decided to leave before it is too late, and we are going gradually into a one-party state.
He used his voice in the Washington Post to speak out against the repression he saw in his country.
One-man rule is always problematic, always end with a disaster, whether in Germany or in Iraq or in Saudi Arabia.
He yearned for steady and gradual reform, not for revolution.
The Arab world is in total crisis, and there is no single country in the Arab world that is immune from it, nor it is trying to put an end to those crises. There is no vision in the Arab world.
He wrote about the women being able to finally drive, and it was a great piece, but he told me, that he felt sad. He felt sad that he couldn't be there to see that. And he said that it feels like not being invited to a party that you worked so hard to plan. So I think that's what hurts about it the most. He was trying to shed light and trying to get people to understand his country.
I'm not asking for democracy. I'm asking for people to be allowed to speak. This is, I'm asking for the minimum.
He was on the front lines of the battle of this global war over free expression, over the right for people to be free just to say what they think without fear. And that's all that he wanted for himself and for his fellow Arabs. He wanted a platform for Arab voices that didn't have journalistic homes anymore. So I'm, grateful that we could provide that for him in his last year.
And I would like to see evolution in my country, not revolution. It is much better for us to work together with the government to transform Saudi Arabia into the future. Arab people want freedom, and they want dignity and better standard of life. And that's the thing I want in my retirement. I am 60 years old, and I want to enjoy life, and I want to be free to speak for my country.
The Post is still actively battling for answers and accountability, not only for justice for Jamal, but for all of those who are silenced for seeking and for speaking truth. Say your word, then leave. He may be gone, but his words cannot be killed.